Hello and welcome back to On Your Beauty. So we're going to talk about this foundation. It's the Catrice Cosmetics Nude Illusion Makeup and it is a luminous matte soft focus effect and long lasting foundation. Let's start with the basics. Packaging is nice and sturdy. So it's got frosted glass and a nice sturdy pump for getting the foundation out. I generally find I need a pump and a half to do my entire face and then do a wee bit extra, you know, where I might need a bit of extra coverage. This retails for about €8 to €9, I think. I picked this up in Pennies in Dublin and I can't find it online, a seller online, so I can't confirm that, but it is a budget, so I think it's maybe around the €10 mark. So, you know, it's still high street prices. So a nice budget foundation. I'm wearing it, as you can tell by the video. I've sort of done a week video of me applying it and you can see where I've dotted it all over my face. I've just applied it over the number 7 primer that I've been using for a while. I have used this over the Insta Blur from the Body Shop and the Sleek primer as well, and it works fine over all of those primers. Winning. And it applies, as I said, really nicely. I prefer to apply it with the Real Techniques buffing brush or expert face brush. I prefer those just because they're going through a brush phase at the minute and it applies it really nicely. I have used a damp sponge over it and that's quite nice. It does sheer it out a wee bit more if you use the damp sponge, not massively but a wee bit. But you can use just, if you use concealer as well, you can use the damp sponge all over just to blend everything together really nicely. So that's really good. It is quite well, it's quite creamy consistency. It is sort of a thick lotion, if you think of it like that. So it's really nice consistency and it applies really nicely. It reminds me a bit of the Dior Skin Nude foundation that I love so much. It's got that similar consistency, which is nice. And I believe, well, in my opinion, it's light to medium coverage. There is, on the website, it's like flawless finish. I don't think it's flawless. You can still see my freckles through, you can still see some of the blemishes. I have put on some concealer today. This is a few days later than when I recorded the original bit, but I have applied a bit of concealer over the top of some of them and I have a few new blemishes, which is always wonderful. But yes, this is sort of more of a medium coverage, I think. Generally pretty sort of, it's more than a BB cream, so it's a nice lightness to it in that you can still see your skin and it doesn't look like a massive cake of makeup. And when you build it up a wee bit, so I build it up a bit where I tend to have more blemishes and stuff and I use it a wee bit more as a concealer, you know, that, and I concentrate more on covering it up. You can build it to a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's full coverage at all. Not at all. But you know, it's pretty decent coverage and you can check out the blog post if you want sort of before and after pictures where you can get a good comparison of side by side face. Regards to luminous matte, I do find it slightly mattifying. So I get oily, like most people, down the centre of my face, generally speaking. And it does mattify a wee bit. No matter which primer I use, it still disappears off my nose. The day I find a foundation that doesn't disappear off my nose, I would be buying it by the bucket load. But I always assume to lose most of my foundation just down this part of my nose and a wee bit around the edges, a wee bit, you know. It doesn't help if I've got a cold either, but you know, that's something else. But it does tend to disappear off my nose, but I can touch it up using my number 17 Flower Paint. I have talked about that stuff before. It rocks. Seriously, it rocks. But sometimes when I go to touch up with that foundation and especially, or that concealer with a matte foundation, it doesn't always mesh well together, shall we say, and the foundation has dried down so much that if I apply a concealer over the top or anywhere to try and blend it together, it kind of goes a wee bit, flaky is not the right word, but it's, you know, you're almost rubbing it off, or it's so dried down it doesn't blend well with any other product at all, so it's really hard to touch up. This is really easy to touch up, so winning. In regards to soft focus effect, I think it is quite flattering on the skin. I do enjoy it. I have got quite large pores on my cheeks here and I don't think it accentuates them too much. It can sink into them a wee bit, but not as bad as quite a few foundations, so it is pretty good compared to others. It's not the best, but it only sinks in ever so slightly. I do enjoy that it doesn't sink in. I've got quite a few fine lines around my eyes. Most of us do. Thankfully it doesn't really sink into those very much. So that is really, really good in my opinion. Because the amount of times you go to check yourself halfway through the day and you realise you've just got these really obvious lines under your eyes. You're like, great, I look about 60. Score. No, this doesn't sink in very much at all. It may be just a wee tiny bit, but not massively at all. And literally, done, fabulous, all sorted. You just dab under your eye, gone. And the foundation is still there. You're not just rubbing off the foundation. So I'm really, really pleased with that. Long lasting, I would say I would get about 5 hours out of it. So I apply my foundation about 7 o'clock in the morning, and when I check it at lunchtime, say 12, 1 o'clock, it is starting to break down, as I said, that wee bit, and especially just around my nose where it tends to crease and stuff, so it breaks down a wee bit there. But generally speaking, it's all over the rest of my face still, so that is really good as well. So you know, it's not the most long lasting, but it lasts pretty well and you can touch it up if you need to. In regards to colour range, there's not a massive colour range. There's about 5 or 6 shades, I think. I don't think I got the right shade for me. It looks a little bit yellow. You maybe can't see it now because of the way I'm sitting and I've got lighting and stuff. But it is a wee bit yellow for me. I always think, oh, I look a wee bit jaundiced today when I see myself. But it's not that bad at all. It is light enough, almost. Keep looking at myself in the viewfinder. It's almost light enough to get away with it. I obviously blend down my neck, so I don't know why I'm holding it against there in my neck. I've blended it down my neck. There is another shade. So this is 010, which is Nude Ivory. They have another one which is Nude Vanilla, possibly, something to that effect. But it looked more pinky toned, so that might suit me better. But I'd have to check to see if it was light enough as well. Yeah, generally I am actually really impressed with this. It is a very good budget foundation. It is very, very good. I'm actually really impressed with Catrice products. I've been testing out a few, so expect more reviews. I might just do a face of Catrice. But I am so impressed with the products. So far, so good. I have only tried a handful of things, but I am so impressed. So that is it. Quite a short and sweet review. Have you used any Catrice products? Don't know why I keep touching myself. I've been watching Lovely Girly Bits too much. Have you tried any other Catrice products? Would you recommend them? I have been watching quite a few other Irish YouTubers to get ideas because I will be going home at Christmas, so I may have to pick something else up. If there are any products from the previous haul, which I will link somewhere, that you would like to see a review on next, please let me know. If you would like to see a nice budget face, I guess, of the products that I purchased, let me know. I might do that anyway for the crack. But that is it. So thank you very, very much for watching. Give me a big thumbs up and like and subscribe and all the good stuff, and I will catch up with you very, very soon. Thanks a million for watching.